Let me just show you how I make my cup of tea. I make it as though I was making a pot. So first of all I warm the cup, and I try to use a china cup because it holds the heat better. Then I use these bags which I fill with real tea, and the real tea is here, and I keep that in a tea caddy, as my grandmother used to do. In fact, my grandmother had a tea caddy just like this one. Probably your grandmother had as well. So, that's how I make my tea. Sometimes I make a pot of tea, and I've got various pots, starting with teapots up there, small one at the back. Oh yeah, this is my favourite little teapot. This little one here makes a lovely little pot of tea. And sometimes in these pots I'll use these tea bags as well. Now when I say tea bags, they're not the bags that you think they are. These are proper tea bags, and they're not bleached, and they don't have any plastic in them. Called little tea sack. So they're just wonderful for making tea. When I'm making herbal tea, I'll use my glass teapot here, and I'll do a complete mix. So I've got absolutely masses of different kinds of tea, and I'll do a complete mix. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Jack is talking to me. You know what he's saying? Look, because he's coming up to me. What is it you want, Jack? Tell me. Look, you see, he's leading me. He's leading me to somewhere. He says, come and see, Mummy. Come on then, show me what it is. What is it? He says, go down there and have a look. He follows me. Oh, I see. You have an empty bowl. Yes, he says, I don't like that empty bowl. It makes me feel very, very uncomfortable and anxious. Okay, darling, I'm going to fill up that empty bowl. So there you have it, you see. Dogs do talk. You just have to listen. He's looking out to the porch where the dog biscuits are kept. Okay. The beautiful lilies I've bought have opened up. Aren't they gorgeous? My little treat. But I think starting very, very soon, I'm going to have some beautiful flowers coming out in the garden. In fact, I'm going to check for the witch hazel today, because the witch hazel is usually the very first bloom to open up. So I'm going to check on that. But for the moment, these are just beautiful. Well, this is Wednesday afternoon, and it's drizzling a little bit, but I do hope to get the boy there down to the woods around Lochmela for a WALK. But anyway, we'll see how things go. I've been working in here in the barn. I've been tidying up, and I've been getting things done, and preparing wood for the stove, putting it into various piles. That's some wood that's drying out. That wood, I think, is now dried out, so I'll be using that. So I'll be cutting it down, you know. So this is the dry wood that I've cut with my jigsaw. I use a jigsaw in here because I just feel I can manage that better. I don't want any big heavy duty saws. So this is reasonably safe to use for me, because you have to cut away from yourself all the time, you know. This is some wood which needs drying out. So I've cut it into bits, and I'm going to take that up to the old hen house and put it up there. So there we go. I've been busy, continuing just to get lots and lots of small jobs done. And of course, I fed the birds. That was the most important job of the lot. So I've come in search of some flowers to cut to bring into the cottage. And the first port of call has been just around the other side of the studio. And here we have the most beautiful witch hazel. So I'm going to cut some of that and put it in my basket down here. And then I'm going to venture on down, right down through the woodland gardens, because there's a particular willow which I don't even know the name of, but it does come in to bloom very, very early, and that just might be out. So this is the willow tree, and I've looked up towards the very tips of the branches, and there are a few tiny, tiny little catkins coming out. Now, they're almost impossible to show you here on the video, but I'm going to reach up now and cut them and put them into the basket over there. Whew, wow, just little bits, but when I bring them into the cottage, of course, they'll open up even more. These come out in the most beautiful sort of pink, baby pink catkins. They're rather lovely. And there's the witch hazel. So I'm going to go on through the woodland gardens and see what else I can collect. Now, one of the things I'm going to cut and add to my little arrangement is this beautiful lichen. So I'm going to cut that branch. It's growing on a willow, and you can see there's absolutely masses of them growing up there too. So this one looks beautiful. So you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Let me just hold this. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle the things here. Isn't that lovely? I've trimmed off the bits I didn't want. The wood seems to be sort of dead, but the lichen is very much alive. Isn't that just gorgeous? So I've just walked through here. That's where I picked the lichen, just back there. And so far, I've got a very interesting and rather beautiful collection to make an arrangement with. So I'll just mosey on through the woodland gardens and see what else I can get. Every so often I just have to stop and look through the trees, because when you come along different paths you get to see different pictures, and this is rather beautiful. I don't know if you can see the cottage up there, right through the trees. So I've just come up through the fairy wood, and I'm breathing heavy because I climbed the hill. I've picked some little bits of rhododendron because that's beautiful and green, and it's kind of like a floret. Each little leaf sprig. But here I'm now picking some little bits of flowering ivy, which is absolutely adorable. Beautiful. So I'm going to get on now and pick some of this and add it to the mix. Do you remember when I planted up the old rhubarb bed with red dogwoods? That's Cornus alba sibirica. So they look absolutely stunning now. I'm going to cut some of those as well, just for real bright red colour in the arrangement. And then I think lastly I'm going to cut some of the ribes, because they will flower very, very soon. So if I bring some cut indoors, they'll open up even sooner. So, well, that looks a right splash of colour. And I'm thinking to myself, I will go and pick some of the beautiful lime green dogwood, which is the Cornus flavirumera. So I'll go off and do that now. This brought me all the way back to the cottage, and this is the flavirumera, the Cornus flavirumera, and that's rubus, which is growing under it. So there's a beautiful clash of greens and lime greens going on there. And yeah, so I'm just going to cut some of this, add it to my burgeoning basket. I think I probably have enough in there for several beautiful Immock displays. So blessings to you all amidst the joyful birdsong. Blessings to you all. So this is what I brought onto the veranda. A lovely big basket of colourful gorgeousness from the Woodland Gardens. Oh, I just love the flavirumera and the Cornus alba sibirica. They're beautiful. I mean, there's just such colour out there, you know. People think in January there's nothing, but there is. And these are the displays that I made and then brought indoors. I hung one of my little goddess figurines on this one. I just thought that was the sign of hope, the sign of Immock. And this little one is for my bedroom windowsill. Isn't it joyful? Just so beautiful. You know, it's amazing what there is growing out there. You only just have to open your eyes and see.